Are you one of those persons whose blood pressure remains always elevated even after taking medicine? Well, then probably you need to take a close look at your diet. In today's video, I'm going to discuss about 5 foods which tends to decrease blood pressure naturally. Why managing the blood pressure is important? Blood pressure is a silent disease. Blood pressure doesn't cause any symptom. Although the prevalence of high blood pressure is significantly elevated in today's world, since it is silent disease, we don't tend to recognize it. And if we do not recognize it and do not treat blood pressure adequately, it tend to have lots of complications like heart disease or kidney disease or stroke. These are the complications of an untreated blood pressure. So that's why management of the blood pressure is very important. We often tend to think the management of blood pressure is dependent only on medicines, but actually it is not like that. Along with the medicines, lifestyle intervention and diet also plays a significant role. In fact, diet and lifestyle modification is as important as medicine. In fact, if you carefully choose your diet, you might be able to cut down on your medicines, and in the long run, if you lose body weight, you might as well take off your medicines altogether. Blood pressure regulation is dependent on quite a few things, and few minerals takes an integral part in the management of blood sugar regulation, and these minerals are sodium, potassium and magnesium. As a society, nowadays we are consuming too much of sodium because we are taking lots of processed food as well as we are taking lots of packaged food which are loaded with sodium. So we are consuming sodium much more than we should be consuming. The recommendation is to take less than 5 gram of sodium, but we are taking way more than that. Up to 15 gram of sodium we are taking per day. Along with that, our diet is deficient nowadays in potassium and magnesium. Potassium and magnesium antagonizes or opposes the effect of sodium. Excess of sodium causes elevation of the blood pressure, while if there are adequate potassium and magnesium in our diet which opposes the effect of sodium, that means adequate potassium and magnesium in our diet helps in reducing BP, while excess sodium causes elevation of BP. So that's why in the management of blood pressure, this minerals plays an important part. We need to increase the amount of potassium and magnesium in our diet, and you need to decrease the amount of sodium in our diet. So how to increase the potassium and magnesium in our diet so that our blood pressure, we can reduce it naturally? 5 substances or food substances we are going to discuss today. Number 1 is green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables like spinach or cabbage or cauliflower or broccoli, all those are rich source of potassium, magnesium and folate. And potassium, as we have discussed, helps in decreasing the blood pressure by opposing the effect of sodium, and folate also has a cardioprotective effect. And these green leafy vegetables we can take in various forms. We can take like a salad, raw salad, we can take in the form of vegetables or in other different forms. So green leafy vegetable forms should form the cornerstone of our diet. At least our diet should have at least 50% of the plate should comprise of green leafy vegetables and green salads. Especially broccoli should be there in the diet as a green leafy vegetables, because broccoli has a good source of fiber, it has good source of vitamin C, it has good source of vitamin K, as well as it contains a strong antioxidant which is known as sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is one of the potent antioxidant which has cardioprotective effect, which protects our heart, which prevents the inflammation, and which thereby prevents the damage of the blood vessels, and thereby it improves the blood pressure. Sulforaphane has been found out to be one of the most potent anti-cancer agent also. So that's why broccoli is very, very important things in our diet, and especially broccoli sprout we should consume in our diet. Although broccoli we are taking as such in our diet, broccoli it contains, as we have discussed already, vitamin C, vitamin K, fiber. But when we heat up the broccoli and consume the broccoli, because it's heat sensitive, the sulforaphane, which is a very potent antioxidant, gets destroyed. So in order to have enough sulforaphane, we need to consume broccoli in the form of sprouts, and you can make the sprouts at home also, these broccoli sprouts. And broccoli sprouts have 30 to 50% more sulforaphane compared to whole broccoli as such. So take whole broccoli as such in the form of salad or vegetables, but once in a while you can take the broccoli sprout. You can make the broccoli sprout at home because it contains a high amount of sulforaphane, which is a very potent antioxidant, which has potent anti-cancer activity, as well as it has cardioprotective, heart protective efficacy, and decreases the blood pressure because it prevents the blood vessel damage and decreases the inflammation. So broccoli, green leafy vegetables as well as broccoli sprouts should form the cornerstone of our diet. Along with the green leafy vegetables, Moringa is something which is come to the forefront. Moringa is known as like a miracle tree because Moringa has lots of benefits because it has natural potassium and magnesium, which helps in decrease in the blood pressure, as well as it has a potent antioxidants like quercetin or chlorogenic acid, which decreases the blood pressure. So Moringa should also be included in our diet. So how to consume Moringa? Moringa can be consumed in various ways. Like it can be consumed like with this seed pod, which is known as drumstick, and this drumstick can be taken in the form of dal, or it can be taken in the form of curry, vegetables. Especially in South India, drumsticks are consumed quite a lot. Along with the drumstick, Moringa can also be taken. Moringa leaves could be taken. Moringa powder can be taken, and sometimes Moringa can be taken as a supplement also. Nowadays there are Moringa tea bags as well. So Moringa tea bags, we can take it as your morning cup of tea or in the afternoon also as a part of the snack, which will help you to rejuvenate. It will protect your heart as well as helps you in decreasing your blood pressure because of its potassium and magnesium elements, as well as it is rich in its antioxidants. So we should consume Moringa in your diet. So Moringa could be consumed in various ways. All parts of the Moringa tree could be taken, especially avoid its bark, its root and pulp. This should be avoided. Apart from that, you can take the Moringa leaves, you can take the Moringa flowers, you can take the Moringa seed pod, which is a drumstick, and you can incorporate this in your diet in the form of drumstick, in the form of Moringa leaves, in the form of Moringa teas or Moringa powder, any form you can take. So Moringa, green leafy vegetables should form the cornerstone of your diet. Number 2 food substance which helps in decrease in the BP is the berries. Berries, different types of berries like blueberry, strawberry, raspberries. All berries actually have a very potent antioxidants. These are anthocyanins, and anthocyanin helps in the decrease in the inflammation and prevents the blood pressure. Blood pressure induces blood vessel damage and decreases the blood pressure. And berries also could be taken in various forms. You can take the berries as a part of the smoothie, or you can take the berry with the curd or yogurt, or can be taken as such also raw. So berries also forms a cornerstone of therapy as far as diet is concerned in high blood pressure. Number 3, beetroot. If you are a hypertensive, beetroot is one of the go-to food if you are having a high blood pressure, because beetroots contain nitrates, and nitrate is a substance which gets converted into nitric oxide in your body, and nitric oxide is a powerful vasodilator. That means nitric oxide dilates our blood vessels, and since because of there is a dilatation of the blood vessels, our blood pressure decreases significantly. So beets can cause relaxation of the blood vessels and helps in decreasing the blood pressure significantly, and in effect could be seen within half an hour if you consume beetroot. And beetroot could be taken in a variety of ways. It could be taken as a beetroot juice, or it can be taken as a raita, it could be taken as a salad, it can be taken as a raw beetroot, it can be taken as a smoothie. So different ways the beetroots could be taken. Beetroots can be taken as a raw form, or it can be taken as a cooked form. So it depends whether you should take it as a raw form or in cooked form. Both has its own advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of raw form is that the nitrates, which has blood pressure reducing effect, gets preserved if you are taking in the raw form, and as well as vitamin C also gets preserved if you are taking in the raw form. But the drawback is that beetroot not only contain nitrates, which helps in reduction of the blood pressure, beetroots also are high in oxalates, and oxalates actually promotes kidney stone, especially those who are predisposed to develop kidney stones. So those who are having a kidney stone or have the tendency to develop a kidney stone, they should preferably avoid a raw beetroot, because raw beetroot contains oxalates. So in that scenario, cooked beetroot, if you cook beetroot by boiling, what happens that oxalate tends to decrease. So those who are having a kidney stone related problem, they can take a cooked beetroot. But by cooking, you tend to decrease the nitrate level. So blood pressure reducing effect comes down a bit. So it depends what is your scenario and which one do you prefer. Either you can take a raw beetroot or you can take a cooked beetroot depending on your health scenario. Next question comes that what precaution you should exercise while taking the beetroot. First of all, as we have discussed, those who are having kidney stones, they need to decrease that amount of raw beetroot, as well as if you take beetroot bit excessively, what happens in your urine and stool gets discolored. Although it is harmless, but it can cause significant amount of anxiety. So that is known as beeturia. Your urine and stool becomes a bit high colored. And those who are pregnant and lactating women, they need to avoid taking concentrated form of beetroots. And before taking beetroots of any form, you need to consult with your healthcare provider. So how much beetroot you should take? So it depends whether you are taking beetroot juice or you are taking the beetroot as such. If you are taking beetroot as such, up to 200 gram should be a safer bet you should take. But if you are taking a beetroot juice, up to 120 ml of beetroot you should take. Beyond that, actually it can be counterproductive. So if you are taking beetroot juice up to 120 ml, and if you are taking a beetroot as such, up to 200 gram of beetroot you can take. So apart from green leafy vegetables, broccoli sprout, moringa, berries and beetroot, number 4 on the list is potassium and magnesium rich banana and avocados. Banana is a rich source of potassium, and potassium helps in the relaxation of the blood vessel because it opposes the effect of sodium, and thereby it relaxes the blood vessels and decreases the blood pressure. So banana is a good source of potassium as well as magnesium. But another good source of potassium and magnesium is avocado. Avocado is one of the richest source of potassium and magnesium, even more than banana. And avocado is a fruit which has a very high amount of fat. Among all the fruits, avocado has the richest amount of fat in its content. And this high degree of fat actually is good for your brain because our brain is made of fat. So avocado fat is a healthy fat. If you consume that, it is good for your brain. It boosts your brain capacity, as well as high amount of fat keeps you full for a longer period of time. So you don't tend to consume more food, you tend to consume less. That's why consequently we consume less calories, we decrease body weight, and thereby also tend to decrease the blood pressure. So avocado is a rich source of fat as well as a good source of potassium and magnesium, which helps in relaxing the blood vessels and thereby decreases the blood pressure. Avocado also is a rich source of fiber. One average size avocado contains around 12 grams of fiber, which keeps our gut healthy and happy, decreases our body weight, and thereby decreases the blood pressure. So avocado and banana is a good source of potassium, magnesium, which helps in decreasing the blood pressure. Avocado and banana could be taken in different ways, especially avocado, you could take it as in a raw form, as a fruit, or you can take it as a smoothie. In different ways, avocado could be taken. So number 5 on the list, in order to decrease the blood pressure naturally, is nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds, they are tiny, but they are packed with nutrients. They contain good quality of healthy fat. They contain omega-3 fatty acid, they contain fiber, as well as they contain lots of potassium and magnesium. And magnesium we have already discussed. Magnesium relaxes the blood vessels and thereby decreases the blood pressure. And nuts and seeds also could be taken in various ways. You can take it as a raw, you can take it as a part of a salad, you can take it as a part of a smoothie. In different ways you can take nuts and seeds. And there are various nuts and seeds which you can take, but the richest source of magnesium among all the nuts and seeds is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds has a significant amount of magnesium in its content. Apart from pumpkin seeds, there are flax seeds, chia seeds, and almonds, cashews. These are also quite rich in magnesium. So these are the foods which we can take, which helps in reduction in the blood pressure. So in summary, these are the top 5 foods we should take in order to decrease the blood pressure naturally. Number 1, green leafy vegetables, especially your moringa and broccoli sprouts. Berries comes second on the list, which are rich in anthocyanin, which is a potent antioxidants. Beets, especially beetroot and beetroot juices, which contains good amount of nitrates, and nitrate helps in the production of nitric oxide, which reduces the blood pressure by producing relaxation of the blood vessels. Banana, avocado contains lots of potassium and magnesium, which relaxes the blood vessels, as well as various nuts and seeds because of its high content of magnesium as well as omega-3, which is not only decreases blood pressure but also is heart friendly and protects the heart. So all these foods helps us in decrease in the blood pressure. If you like our content, kindly share the content and subscribe to our channel. And if you like our video, you should see the video where we discuss about what are the top 5 reasons where in spite of taking medicines, our blood pressure is not under control.